Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. It's the third video today. Are you sick of seeing me? Do you want 4 videos today? It's not happening, but here's 3. And this is a very, very spicy one, guys. Significant rebalances that completely change the value of the Chronophage set. This is the new set that is exclusive right now to the Event Dungeon. And it is being totally reworked. Totally reworked. It still does broadly the same stuff, but it's like way better. And this has become a set you definitely want to farm now. So yeah, Chronophage, what's changing? So first up, they're changing the stat bonuses. So this is the old version. You're getting HP, resistance, speed, blah, blah, blah. This is the new version. All the HP percent is gone. And now you're getting more speed. So the old version, you were getting a total. With the full set, for example, you'd only get 10% speed. After the rebalance, you get 10% speed for just 2 pieces. And then there's so much speed baked in here. So this is now a really, really strong speed set in line with the other speed sets. This makes it super valuable, okay? So for instance, again, if you're any sort of player, right? I'm building my champion. Let's say Lazarius is a perfect example. Look at this. Like, it's fairly easy to get a pinpoint ring and a pinpoint necklace, and that's giving me 10% speed. It's making my champions way faster. You can do the same thing with Chronophage. Generally, pinpoint is more useful because it's giving you 20 accuracy, and that's, most champions need accuracy, whereas you only really need resistance if you're building resistance. So pinpoint's slightly better, but it's still just a good general set to farm. But yeah, it's just way more speed. Just the stats are much better. So straight up, stats have massively improved. And I think just for an accessibility thing, especially for new players, the 2-piece 10% speed is actually really big. So it's worth farming just for that, pretty much. But there is more, and that's where this is where it gets really, really spicy. Okay, here we go. Massive wall of text, but I'll break it down. Let me just mention first, the changes are coming next week, along with a small fix that will speed up team attack animations for turtles. That's great. I don't know if this is like turtle-only teams. Like, I presume it's just the turtles, right? Basically, their ally attacks, you do any attack and the turtles join in with their default skills. It would be strange if it was turtle-only teams. Like, if you use the 4 turtles only, you'll have sped up animations. But like if you include somebody else, it's not a turtle-only team, guys. You got the slower animations now. No, I think it's just all they're speeding up the turtle passive A1 attacks. Is anyway, not important, but it's just kind of funny phrasing there. It leaves it open to a lot of misinterpretation, which I always enjoy. The chaotic neutral is probably my affinity or whatever. Right, so the immutable buff is being reworked. Okay, it's being reworked entirely. So this is the big thing for the set. So you still get it. You still will be getting 1 stack at 4 piece, 2 stacks at 6 piece, and three stacks at 9 pieces. This new version is going to be all about the 4 piece. This just became a giga charge 4 piece set. The old version, it would reduce the effectiveness of attempts to increase your skill cooldown. So if I try to increase your skills by 3 turns, Fabian, right? Imagine Fabian comes in, and he would try to increase your skills by 3 turns. Very common. You're going to see this guy all the time. Increase your skills by 3 turns. The old version of Immutable, if you had 1 stack, he would increase it by only 2 turns. If you had 2 stacks, it would knock 2 off this. He'd increase your cooldowns by 1 turn. If you had 3 stacks of Immutable, it would knock off the 3 turns. He wouldn't increase your cooldowns at all. That's the old version. Not very useful, right? Like, what do you do with 1 stack of Immutable? Your skills are increased by 2 turns instead of 3. You still can't use your skills at the start of your turn. Like, it's sort of useful, but not particularly. Kind of weird. And it would stop you wearing stone skin, etc. The new version, the Immutable buff, will block an attempt to increase the skills cooldown on a champion. Each Immutable stack, each stack will negate an attempt to increase a skills cooldown. So it blocks, let me actually remove this line because it blocks the cooldown increasing effect entirely. It completely stops it. Now, the only thing that is slightly unclear to me about this, Fabian comes in, he's trying to increase my cooldowns by 3 turns. one single stack of Immutable will block this entirely. What I'm not clear about, a single attempt to increase a skills cooldown, individual skills cooldown. I don't know, like, would it stop him increasing my A2, but he'll still increase my A3? Not sure. That's a little bit unclear. My assumption is that it will just stop it entirely. If I have one stack of Immutable, so if I have 4 pieces of Chronophage, and I can go in, nothing stopping me, 4 pieces of Stone Skin, 4 pieces of Chronophage, I can go in, and presumably, the 4-piece Chronophage, that one Immutable stack, will just stop this increasing my cooldowns at all. That is my assumption. So yeah, you gear any champion with 4 pieces of Chronophage, and it blocks the first cooldown increasing effect. And it's highly unlikely that teams are running multiple cooldown increasing effects. So this is a huge counter to several champions. Now, again, guys, you guys know I write for hellhades.com. Unfortunately, this is something that's actually being worked on right now. Any of the effects in game, so increasing skill cooldowns is an effect, right? In Raid, they've sort of clarified a lot of things with filters, which has been really good, but you've got buffs, debuffs, and effects, right? None of the effects are working properly on the website right now. They still need to be properly updated. All the buffs and debuffs should be fine, though. I think there's some missing. They're working on that as well. But yeah, like the tech guys are going to be actually setting this up hopefully soon. And making it work. But right now, like if you look at the increased skill cooldown, it's just missing. Like, where's Crixia? She's just not there. Where's Fabian? It's not there. Unfortunately, this doesn't work. So you do have to use a different website at the moment. Hopefully, it will be fixed soon. But yeah, so like all these champions are being nerfed. So this is a huge. So Crixia, massive nerf. Your Alice, if you're using that, good bit weaker. Hansel's not too common. Fabian is super common, and this wrecks Fabian. Like, he gets wrecked now. And then Yumiko. Yeah, Yumiko gets wrecked as well. Alika and Basher, slightly wrecked as well, though they would have been kind of wrecked by just the regular 4-piece anyway. They don't increase it too much. But these are the big ones. This is effectively, by wearing this 4-piece Chronophage, it's a big counter to Crixia, Fabian, and Yumiko. And it's a smaller counter to Alice and Lazarius. Now, they're also doing lots of damage. They're doing other stuff. But a lot of what these other characters do, that's a big nerf, guys. It's a very big nerf. So, yeah, what do you lose out on by doing 4-piece Chronophage? You don't really lose out on all that much. Maybe bolster set. Like, so for example, I've got Stone Skin. I lose out on a 4-piece bolster. That's pretty significant. Like, if I look at just my arena champions right now, if I look at all of them, like who's losing out on stuff? So obviously for my damage dealers, very difficult to fit it on a damage dealer though. So you will still be likely locking out damage dealers because I really want lethal and Stone Skin. I could do lethal and Chronophage, but Stone Skin is going to be useful for a damage dealer. Like, let's say Fralny. Who is Stone Skin useful against? I don't know, like 95% of champions? Who's Chronophage useful against? Just kind of those 3 big ones. Fabian, Yumiko, Crixia. And yeah, Fabian is super common, but I think I'd rather have the Stone Skin. So not so much for damage dealers. Yeah, really none of my damage dealers I would actually run it on, which is most of my champions. I mean, I could run it on Armans. I mean, I could put it on Yumiko. It kind of makes sense, right? I could try to drop some speed, and then with Yumiko, it actually could be very powerful for her. Run her against a Fabian. Fabian tries to lock her out. He can't, and then she could reset everybody. So it's pretty big for her. Turns her into sort of a pseudo Crixia, actually resetting my own team. That's cool. I've got a lot of champions in protection, actually. There's actually very few champions I have here that could easily swap into Chronophage. They're either really fast. I guess I've just sort of built them not to need it. It's okay. So it's actually kind of awkward. Looking at this, there's very few people I'd actually switch. Here we go. Maybe Lady Noelle. She's in like 8 pieces of Stone Skin right now. Kind of weird. Now, yeah, it's the 2 turns of Stone Skin. We'd lose a turn, but we could just give her Chronophage and have her be able to guaranteed basically come in and revive everyone. That could work. Maybe for her instead of the Provoke, Mithrala. I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. I do think big champions for this are ones who can also reduce your skill cooldown. So I could come in with like Kaimar. Kaimar would be a great example, or Yumiko would be a great example. Champions who can reduce their skills. I think Kaimar particularly strong because he's got a speed aura. He can also, remove buffs and sleep enemies. He's doing a bunch of good stuff. And this is a turn meter boost as well. So for him or Yumiko, having them in Chronophage, same thing with Donatello actually would be perfect. Having them in Chronophage, you come in, my champ's in Chronophage, so if they lock me out, if the enemy picks a Fabian, I can pick my Kaimar. He's not going to be able to increase my skills, and then I can just reset my team and turn meter boost them, and I'm good. Very big for Donatello, so I think Chronophage is now... It was already, I think, a good set for Donatello. Now it's amazing. This is a 4-turn cooldown, right? But if a Fabian increases my skills, if my Donatello's in 4-piece Chronophage, he can come in, open up with his A2... open up with his A2 and then reduce all my team cooldowns and give him increased speed as well. That could be a really nifty little counter to a Fabian. And then, hey, Fabian tries to start, petrifying and fearing people on the next turn. Donatello can come in, remove the petrifications and the fears, and give everyone turn meter. He could be a really nice counter, actually, now to Fabian. So that's a big one. But yeah, there we go, guys. Big change to Chronophage. Again, it's still a little bit unclear, but this to me is now definitely worth farming. Mostly for champions that will reset your skill cooldowns, and definitely it's an option for tanky reviver type champions as well. Yeah, let me know. What do you think about this? I think this is a huge buff. It's effectively, maybe more so than anything, it's a massive nerf to Fabian. Because it becomes quite scary, doesn't it? Because you're going to have people who just have Chronophage on random champions. It becomes quite scary to rely on Fabian. It's very scary. What if the enemy just happens to have Chronophage? My strategy falls apart completely. It becomes much scarier to draft this guy than it was before. Even if enemies are not necessarily wearing Chronophage, the threat is pretty bad. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think about it all. It's spicy, I think, for sure. I think it was definitely... It's probably a step in the right direction, though. I actually think I'm probably okay with this. It's maybe too harsh on these enemy or champions increasing skill cooldowns. Maybe that's a bit too harsh. But it's good. This really also raises the value of block active skills as a debuff becomes very solid as well. Yeah, 4-piece stone skin, 4-piece Chronophage. It's a real thing now. That's a very real thing. And yeah, spicy stuff. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you next time. Plarium, I'll say this, they're not afraid to shake up the meta when they want to. We'll say that. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.